Hey there team, so this is us back at Mistrand again. It wasn't too long ago that I was here previously with a battle, but I do quite like Mistrand, and this one's kind of funky. I'll get to the reason why in a minute. I'm going to be doing a few cuts here because this is it's a 31,000 frames, and I'm just wanting to find the best time to go across everybody's army. Right now in Mistrand anyway, you tend to always deploy in jumbled heaps, but some people haven't. So I'll start with Son of Durin because he's quite nice and spread out here. So he's got his two spears of Endure up front. We're seeing a Hiri Alth at the back, and but mixed in with some of the spears there too. The Hiri Ek. There we go. That's the spears. Next to them, some more Hiri Ek. Actually, that might be the same unit of Hiri Ek with spread out, but just with a Hiri Alth squinched in. Hiri Peng here, the archers. Behind them, some Ents, pretty solid. Ents were in the last Mistrand Siege, but these are Mirkwood Ents rather than the Hobbits Ents. We've got the Elven King's Palace Guard, and some Elders of the Elven King. Behind them, some Sindar of the Girdle. The Elven King's Palace Guard is actually one of the only units, it's quite rare that I say this, but it's one of the only units I actually think it looks better without an armor upgrade, which is quite strange. To be honest, a lot of the Mirkwood units, I love them. I do love the armor upgraded Mirkwood, but maybe it's just because I like the standard Mirkwood look so much. As you can see here, Sharkan, I'm not even going to attempt that right now. We'll get to him later. Then over here we have Mordor. Again, ULC sent me this replay, very grateful, but that's not happening at the minute. Over here though, we've got Agalar, and he's got some sense of a formation. So we've got the Dunman Spears. Now as you can see, oh lovely, and silver points. As you can see, one of these factions here today is Dunland. I've never actually played as Dunland before. I've mentioned it before in a few battles. I quite like playing as Isengard using a bunch of the Dunman units, but this is going to be my first time actually seeing Dunland as an army. Behind them, we're seeing some Black Wolves hiding, and some Snaga Skirmishers, a nice line of Snaga, 3 of them I suspect. Maybe, actually no way, maybe they're a big bundled up group, it's hard to tell where Snaga begin and end. Then some Dunlending Clansmen, Greenway Guards, and it's a bit of a hodgepodge, but yeah, we're seeing generally Dunlending Clansmen and these Greenway Guard, but oh yes, the Greenway Guards are, they're like crossbow spear hybrids, aren't they? They wear the Guards of Orthanc armor, they look really cool. I'm gonna try and watch them in a fight. Behind, some Greenway sentries who are getting crossbows, that's pretty cool. I like that quite a lot, so yeah, cool. Goblin trackers as well popped up, and we're seeing some troll shot axe throwers. So from what I'm gathering, generally Dunland is a nice mix of the Isengard forces with a lot of Rudar spat in there, which is sensible. They're hillmen, as are Rudar. So it'll be cool. It'll be cool to see how they go, especially considering there's 2 Dunman factions on the field today. Speaking of Rudar, they're here as well. So we've got the Rudar Clansmen by Y2K, some Dunman Spears, some Rudar Marksmen, some Rudar Clansmen over there. No armor upgrade for any of these Rudar Clansmen. Some more Rudar Marksmen over on the far side. Dunman Hunters again, I think I already got them. Rudar Swordsmen, I'm in love with Rudar Swordsmen all the time really. Yeah, I'm just mad for them. And then the Coldfell Maidens, which it's a solid choice I think. The Coldfell Maidens are not too expensive, and it's good to always have something to counter enemy cavalry even on a siege, and then even if the enemy don't bring any cavalry, you've brought some more javelins, which is always beneficial. Too bad the dirt has gotten in the way of their models, that's a shame. This is a 3v5 on huge settings, so I'm really sorry, I'm not going to be able to do this on perfect graphics really. And then Paladin. Now this was a funny one, because I got sent this last night and my Discord was bing bonging like crazy because Paladin and ULC had sent it to me at pretty much the exact same time. So I'm very grateful for that. And what I'm actually going to do at the end is I'm going to load up Paladin's replay, and I'll go to the end of Paladin's replay and we can go through his stats as well. But for this one we'll be going through ULC's actual game. So Paladin here is playing as Rune, and I suspect he was maybe the host of the. Well, he did. Yeah, he was the host of this game. That's why we're seeing Dunman show up. Paladin quite likes playing with the special rules, which I most certainly appreciate. That content is in the game, and of course, if you're playing a very competitive match, we need to stick to certain things. But when you're just mucking about, why not use it? Just really go to town, as long as it's somewhat friendly. But hey. We've got the flag rim here. E-strong crossbows behind them. Is this E-strong crossbows with an armor upgrade? Very nice. Defenders are always going to have a bit more cash to throw around, so yeah. The Ulc Scion rim. Some more flag rim there. Oh, Dragon Knights. Definitely going to be a match for the maidens, of course, but if the maidens can throw all of their javelins, this Dragon Knight, will be in pain. Some Scion rim back there. Some more Scion rim. We're seeing some Dragon's Wrath crossbows. Oh, the Dragon's Breath cannon. We saw that being very effective in the last Mistrand Siege. Lokfnar Rim. 3 of these Gamp Rim. Another unit of Gamp Rim. 4 Gamp Rim overall. Very nice. And some Camels Chosen mixed in. And some Lokfnar Rim. Now, does he have men all the way in the back here? He does. No, that's Rohan, his ally Master Blaster. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I've been told that this takes a long while to get going, so that's why we will definitely be doing a cut. But I am interested to see if if the attackers really give the defenders enough time to really all merge together, or is Paladin going to be out here by himself in the beginning? He certainly won't be out here by himself with Rohan's really heavy cav force. So we've got the Sons of the Ale right up front, Airred of Aldberg, Riders of the Fold, more Riders of the Fold. More Airred, more riders, cheaper, safe. That's all. Yeah. Master Blaster has gone very heavy on his cav, and let's hope it pays off for it. Because if it doesn't, that's a big sink of money. And there's even more cavalry on this side. Wow, this is interesting play from a defender. Master Blaster's been around a while, so I'm sure he knows what he's doing. But this is quite concerning for me. We've got the Eastmark Riders there, Eastmark Horse Archers. Rittermark Cav, more Eastmark Riders, more Rittermark Cav, and more Eastmark Horse Archers. So it seems to be this is really the cheaper of the forces, whereas over on the left, that's where he's poured a lot more of his money. I was wondering why he had deployed all the way out here. Now for a 3v2, that's not leaving much inside, especially considering Cand is deployed outside. Master Blaster does have some infantry in here to help. Westmark Spears certainly will not go down lightly. Westmark Marshals will do a heck of a lot of damage, and Westmark Infantry, and the Midicel, the Guard, and Helm's Hammer. So he's definitely not going for a fodder inside here. He's gone for some elite units, which is good. At least you know that they're going to be able to hold a flank for a while anyway. And some Rittermark Skirmishers inside, 2 units off them even. Actually, no, sorry, this is huge. I think that's just one very thick boy of a unit. Then the Red Shield of Erkenbrand, and another Red Shield of Erkenbrand. Wow, okay. I do not in any way, shape or form have the micro capabilities to do what Master Blaster is going to be doing here. So I really hope it works out. But yeah, I'm quite concerned. Now this is Total War 1 over here. I believe, I've not seen many people with the name Total War 1. I think that this is the Total War 1 that I see on YouTube popping up quite a bit. It might not be though, but I suspect it is. I know he's not too fond of multiplayer battles, but we'll see how this turns out. Eldoranway Archers here. We've got a good shot of his army here, so I'll go through his army. Eldoranway Archers here. Some Godhillim, the Eldoranway Spears, some Imladris Guardians without an armor upgrade, more Imladris Guardians, some Eldoranway Sword Masters. Eldoranway Archers in the back there, so, Eldoranway Spears, and Eldoranway Lancers. More cav. This is scary. I don't know if they've got enough boots on the ground, but we'll see. Nothing else back here. I think he just deployed here, kind of thinking that there might be an immediate rush down that way. But for the time being, yeah, hopefully, well, maybe the attackers will give them some time to get up into position, because this could very quickly turn from a siege and, well, the attackers end up holding the center. Yeah, we've run through Mirkwood's force. I think that this might have to be the time for a cut. unless we can kind of get the gist of things, but I really don't think we will. We've got the half-orc spear guard there, the black wolves. This is Sharkan here, of course, with some more Dunland. Greenway guards again. I think that's the same unit of black wolves. So I think I'm seeing some Wathlo trackers, interesting. Dunman pikes they get access to, of course. Dunlanding berserkers with an armor upgrade. We're seeing some Dunlanding veterans in there, trollshot axe throwers, some more pikes. I'm spotting some trollshot axe throwers there. Am I seeing any other unusual units? No, I don't think so. Dunman hunters, of course. So that's pretty good. And then the last army that I have not gone through is, of course... Nope, went through there. It's ULC himself, actually. So, yeah, I think I'll probably just try and go through him. And we'll call out anything unusual that we see throughout the battle. We've got the Moranon Guard mixed in with some Moranon Infantry. Maybe seeing some Halberdiers? No, that's just the Moranon Guard, actually. They've just got quite curved... Well, they've got quite unusual spears. The Lancers, okay. Some Sauron's Will, of course. Orc Javelins. Orc Archers there. More Orc Javies. I did spot a unit of Halberds there, Moranon Halberds. I'm seeing a unit of the Olokai and Orc Javelins. Must be another unit of... No, this is the Troll Capital. And that's that, really. Some Moranon Infantry and Moranon Guards. So this is kind of cool. We've had a lot of very small attacking armies recently. Putting up to 1 speed there. But I will probably still make a bit of a cut. Okay then, team. That is us just about to get underway here. I'll have a quick look over the front lines. This is clearly where the main battle is going to be happening. The attackers have held back and allowed the defenders to come up and secure their holdings, which is quite good. But we can see that they've not made an attempt to secure Death Alley, or what I call Death Alley, anyway. And the bulk of the fighting is going to be in this area. I'm actually going to slow it down a bit. I thought I'd be able to catch this just before the fighting kicked off. But what we can see here is Rohan have formed up their infantry. Now this is quite good, because if Master Blaster can use his infantry first, even though they are quite good quality, it means that he can fully focus on micromanaging his cav, and he is also taken the initial brunt of the attackers. So I can see that's why Rohan has come up here, and Paladin has moved his forces around to come in for the second wave. Over here on the right flank is where Total War 1 with his Imladris forces have set up. So it's a very tough right flank with right now quite a loose left flank, especially with these men being in loose formation, but as we've seen before, Rohirrim spears can hold a line even when they're in a situation like this. And I'm sure that Paladin can get his Rhunnic men up there quite quickly if he had to, and there's elite men backing them up too. This initial push here is consisting generally of Y2K and ULC, with a mix of a lot of fodder here. There's an Eastmark Rider charge coming in some Dunman spears, which is going to be quite scary. Certainly not something to take lightly. Dunman spears, although they are quite cheap fodder units, are still anti-cavalry. A lot of arrow fire coming in here from the Mirkwood forces, which is going to be a bit messy to those cav as well. Cheap cav are still cav at the end of the day, you don't want to lose them too easily. And yeah, so it seems to be about 3 armies are gearing up to push down this area, whereas Sharkan is taking this section sort of by himself, taking a bit of fire, but it's overhead fire. It's overhead elven fire though, so that's still going to be a bit painful to his lightly armoured Dunman. But with him alone focusing on this push, he should be doing okay. Something interesting, however, the 4th attacker, Agalar, is over here, or the 5th attacker, sorry. Agalar is out here, and he has this push to make up against Master Blaster. So Master Blaster's concentration is going to be divided once again, trying to focus on this section. A quick charge by the Sons of the Owl, right off the bat will do a lot of damage. These guys screaming over and over again because the speed is so low. But Dunman clansmen, for as cheap as they are, it's quite funny when they get thrown up. They stay in their attacking pose for a few seconds before they get knocked on their backs. So these sons are going to be taking a bit of damage from that, no doubt. But I think he's just trying to whittle away at their actual defensive forces so that his horse archers can actually get to the more juicy men behind. Ooh, especially if these Snaga got a volley, that'd be nasty. But Aguilar, with all of his infantry here, is hoping to sweep away this horse force in his way and come on up for a backstab. And that's the situation as I see it right now. I'm sure the attackers on this section, I'll go back up to normal speed, I'm sure the attackers in this section will not be too worried about losing some of their fodder. But it's still not something that, you know, that's down, they've lost about 100 men there in that charge. It's quite nice. You can see sort of the green is where ULC's forces, of course, have set up, and then the blue are his allies. So he's taking on a good portion of this push right now. Hiri Peng archers firing away, but this is something that's very tough in these tightly compact areas, especially when you're fighting alongside allies. Some of these archers are not going to be getting a perfect shot just because of these Moranon men in front of them. But this can just be back and forth, I suspect, with archer fire and these cav charges. Eastmark Riders, they're routing. Just trying to do a quick swing back and forth, but with so much anti-cavalry power. That's actually quite a lot of the spear guard dead from that charge. And I see Eastmark Riders, they're not too expensive, so I won't be too worried. Sharkan is not wasting much time. He is coming straight into the left flank here. Eldarim with spears, maybe spearmen, but they are exceptional, and they're going to be able to mop this force up quite quickly. But Sharkan seems to just be wanting to push forward men right now, just to in order to just engage with the entire of this Imladris line. Because if the attacker is going to breach, they're going to be breaching through this Rohan section. The Spear Guard have rushed forward to engage the far superior spears of the Westmark Rohirrim men, and that's going to be a bit nasty for them. But I think reinforcements are coming. Spears of M endure, and that will definitely be a match, especially coming in from the back here like this. Those Westmark spears are definitely not going to be loving that too much. The Dunman spears coming up to engage this section, and the Dragon's Breath cannon is moving up. Dunlanding veterans already broken through this line to start to engage the Elder Emwy archers. Elder Emwy archers, of course, are not going to be going down too easy. There was almost a shot by these guardsmen here, but he halted that, which he was definitely right in doing. We're going to be slowing down immediately, actually. Just because this gets underway really fast. As you can see, the Ents have come in, but the perfect unit to go and challenge them are the Helm's Hammers, and they are approaching quickly to come in. Their AP and skill is going to be a good match for the Ents, but there's a lot more numbers to come in. Now, of course, the attackers want to be engaging all over this line right now if they can, just to really so that the defenders can't focus their fire in one section. Like this blob here is just a tasty shot for enemy archers, even though it is helping to breach through. Sharkan coming over where the enemy's weaker, just slamming his men through. If they can just come in for a quick rear charge, that'd be great. Now what's going on this other side? Some Lancers, and also Y2K has sent over his Coldfell Maidens, which I think is a good idea because they're just not going to be useful in those tight, compact areas. Well, not as useful as they would be out here. So you can see this is where the original front line was, and there has been a push forward from Aguilar. He's lost a lot of men doing it, but most of the men he's lost have been the Dunlanding clansmen, sorry. And he's not going to be too upset about them really going down.
If we continue like this, we will
But this is his anti-cavalry right now, and as these Dunlanding clansmen start to go down, it's going to be a bit scary, and the air raid of Aldburg or the Sons are going to be able to come forward. So he does need to be a bit careful. Gwathlo trackers as well, they're not really what you want for a skirmish fight. Incredibly light armor. So they're just, and no shield of course. So they're just going to be coming up, but they can do a decent amount of damage for their price, I find. So they will hurt some of these Riders of the Fold, no doubt. But all of these are good cavaliers. This is not where he's put his fodder cav. His fodder cav are generally on the inside. Let me just run on over. See how the main engagement's going again. Paladin has had to rush in some of his golden boys because the Rohan front line has sort of collapsed here. But as it was always going to, Master Blaster's focus is clearly on his cavalry. Narem archer fire, it's good quality arrows coming into these Hiri Peng, and accurate fire too, they're good quality archers, so it's these Hiri Peng will not be loving that. The Ents have managed to push right on through to the Dragon's Breath cannons. 30 men, they're running, they're trying to fight to the death right now, but hopefully they'll get out because they need to get back on that cannon. They need to clear out these Ents, clear out these Berserkers as well. Let's see, you can see on the minimap here this massive push that has just broken this line apart, and it's looking very flimsy. The left flank though, with all of those very disciplined, well armoured elves, is holding out nicely. Even with the arrival of the Dunman spears, they're going to be poking and prodding away at the sentries, and the sentries are just going to be doing so much damage back. And on this side, the Elder Runway spears mixed in with I saw a Swordmaster. No, I was mistaken there. They're going to be mincing these veterans. What we got in the back here? Some Dunman hunters, low quality archers, but a heck of a lot of them. And close range, low quality archer fires is effective. What is going to do a lot more damage though are these Greenway guards. I've never seen the Greenway guards in a fight. I presume they're quite high quality crossbowmen. So, you know, no doubt they're going to be doing a heck of a lot of damage. He's definitely going to want that fire to be going into the Imladris boys. I'd probably be targeting the Godhillen right here. Because not only are they great archers, they are incredible in melee. And a good few accurate crossbow volleys will hurt them. The Elder Runway Lancers have come in here to just try and hit at this force, but it's tough to get yourself into a good angle. I think they did manage to succeed and get a few kills, but I don't think it was the charge he was looking for. If he was able to pull off a quick charge against the Ents, that would be very good, but these bombards and just there's too many men around this area for the Cav to be effective. And you see just how loose the defender's line is right now. ULC this is all green over here, this is all ULC's forces, that they're pushing up hard and overwhelming the Elm's Hammers. Backed up by some Riddermark skirmishers who have thrown all of their axes. They're just, there's a few spears mixed in here, orc fodder even, but still spears. Trying to hold the line with Cav is always a bit dangerous. The Red Shields of Erkenbrand, however, they can sort of hold the line. Not really against Morin on guard though. They're sort of built to defeat them. First Marshal's Bodyguard coming on in. They'll be able to get some good charges. More Loknar units coming on in. Or Lok Flag, sorry. What have we got here? The push has been made by these Dunlin Clansman units, and he's being quite good about it here. Aguilar is trying, you can see he's trying to sort of box him off, but Master Blaster sees this and he's going to get around him. What have we got here? The bulk of Aguilar's units are still waiting. Adunaim Lancers back here. Wait, is that the same unit? Does ULC have two units of Numenorian Lancers? Easier that way. Sendar of the Girdle over here too. I'm gonna go up a bit because I might have missed it. I did miss it. So what we've got here, is that actually connected? Ah, that's how he got through. This spoiler, I watched this before. I watched it about halfway through, but then I had a crash and unfortunately the video got corrupted. So I do know a few things that happened. I thought he originally managed to push these men through, but I didn't realise that was all connected. So he gets these men around, and this is scary now. This is so much cav, so much good quality cav that the attackers have behind them. And these stakes are of course pointed in the wrong direction. They were ready for a cav charge coming out of there, but no. So they're going to have to be watchful of that. They've got the tools to counter the cav, but just not many of them. Greenwood Rangers have moved up here. Rare to not see a body piercing unit or two in a siege. Coming into the Gap Brim, coming into these horse archers. Some pretty good shooting going on. Dragon's Wrath Guildsmen, exceptional in a fight, and if they can use some of their Nafton, even better. Let's see what we've got going on. Yep, so again, there's a bit of a bulge made right here, where the oh no, that is still totally the Elven lines. Black Wolves are great on the charge; they can just burst their way in, and but their lack of skill and armor is going to have them go down very quickly. The Mirkwood units to their left, though, will fill that role a bit for them. They should have a bit more staying power. It is very good from the attackers here that Son of Durin has seen that, you know, the left flank is where the far better quality men are. I need to send I have the best quality in my army. I need to get my quality over there to face them. Axes coming into the Godhillen. Yeah, so that's definitely good targets for them. Oh heck, there's 2 units of Godhillen. That's not cheap at all, but hey, if you use them properly, it should work out. More axes coming in. That should do a lot of damage to them. But I'd be tempted to throw a volley or two into these Eldarimwe Swordmasters as well, just to get them wiped out. This is starting to look very flaky on the far left flank of the attackers, and Sharkan has been so aggressive that I think just about everything that Sharkan has is thrown into the fight already, or it's waiting just here. A lot of archers coming in. Troll Axe throwers there, still got some axes left. But no, even with Mirkwood's help here, I just think that the Imladris forces have sliced apart that position. Eldarimwe Lancers have found a way through. Wardens of Amon Lank will hurt them. They don't have an anti-cav bonus, but they're going to hurt them with their big axes. That was a catapult volley. I think they're shooting for this blob. That was of course a friendly fire blast, and it's caused some routing. But I think they were shooting for this blob. It's a good target. Just unfortunately, those trolls are not accurate enough with that catapult shot. So that's a terrible shame for the attackers there. That could have been a great hit against some high quality units, but instead, a lot of friendly fire. So the far right flank here, that's all orc archers out of ammunition that have sort of come slamming themselves in. Okay, another volley. Just again, miss. Terrible shame. Oh, this one. Missed again. Yeah, that's very unfortunate for the attackers. And their catapult. What we got over here? Some Master Blasters coming over with a lot more of his fodder cav. As just in order to try and deal with these Dunaim Lancers. Dunaim Lancers, of course, not anti-cavalry, but it's not too tough to deal with horse archers. When these guys start to arrive, though, that's going to be an issue. Aguilar, he's not really facing off against as many guys here now. These Greenway sentries should mop people up, no doubt. I believe they actually have an anti-cavalry bonus. Not certain about that, though. Even then, though, crossbows, great for it. And that's just, yeah, Aguilar's actually sending his men around here. Okay, I didn't notice that last time. I think he is seeing that the men on the front, well, they need more manpower on the front, so he is rushing on around. What about these cav? I think these cav have actually started their reign of terror, or they're just about to. They've moved on up here. The Sindar are waiting for them. They're waiting for them the wrong way. They need to make sure they get turned around. They've got more troll hunters right there, but this big juicy blob of Rudar swordsmen will disappear to a few brutal cav charges, so they need to be very careful about that. Orc javelins do pull out a spear in melee as well. So what we've got on the front line now, it's looking pretty good on the right flank. for these Rhunnic forces. Woodland Realm Patrol coming into melee though. They'll have the skill to kind of off-put that. Red Shields of Erkenbrand still with some ammo and 2 units of Shadow Guard. Any ammunition that the archers still have left, these Shadow Guard will disappear quite quickly. I don't believe they're too heavily armoured. And they don't have a shield anyway. Total War has seen that his flank is starting to run low. Especially with an Elder... Oh, yes, that's a great charge there. These Elven King's Palace Guard just were not able to worm their way to the front. Had they been fighting up against the Sword Masters, it would have been a great fight. But it was just the blob of pikemen in front of them. So a quick charge from the Lancers manages to break that pike unit. Takes away a lot of the fodder that these Palace Guard had around them, and it's going to be pretty scary for them. Elite units can get overwhelmed quite well, especially when they're fighting units of quality. Greenway Guards. So important for the attackers to make sure that they use up all of their ammunition, even when it comes to these, say, Dunman Hunters here. They have used up... No, they've still got their bows out, so they need to make sure that they're firing every shot. Now the issue here... Total War has actually done something pretty clever here. He's starting a counter-attack, and it's going to be pretty scary for the attackers. When a defender counter-attack can be the point where the battle turns around if they do it wrong. You can absolutely abuse a defender's counter-attack. This is 45 for 47 right now in favor of the attackers. So that is pretty damn close. We will try and watch that. A lot of these Imladris Guardians and Eldarimwe Archers who are effective in melee, so it's certainly not a waste of axes to take them out. But with just this wave of... God Hillim are coming in too. Just this wave of quality infantry from Imladris coming into the undefended left flank of the attackers is going to be scary. And just all of this archer fire and skirmishers here, they just need something of quality to stop it. They've got the Elders of the Elven King, but those Elders need to use up their ammo. The Huri Peng have jumped in. Huri Peng, though, as good as they are, they're not going to beat Imladris dedicated infantrymen. As you can see here, a few charges have been made to these axemen. They were hiding. We didn't see them before, but obviously the Cav had spotted them. So a few charges have been made against them. They're getting shot in the back and they've got no shield. They're going to be disappearing. I think Y2K's focus is on the front line, as it would be at this point. Oh no, there's still 20 suns left. Yeah, I think he's just focused on the front line. He's not really spotted what's going on here. If these guys are on fire at will, then that's going to be beneficial for them. Some trolls of the... yes, no. As you can see here, one catapult is just about to get bugged there. Another catapult bugged out there, and this one is just goofed as well. So that troll catapult for the attackers has just been so unfortunate here. It's not done enough damage. Y2K has rushed forward his swordsmen. Better that they're on the front line rather than getting exposed to cav charges. And this is 3 full units of Rudar swordsmen. And up against a lot of depleted units on the front line, Rudar swordsmen can really do their damage. A lot of archer volleys coming straight up and over. But poorly armoured hellmen are not going to be able to shrug off those hits.
Only half our force remains.
That's ULC suffering. That ULC was a very horde-based army, so he needs a lot of these javelins to throw themselves into melee. Now, of course, they're out of ammunition, but it's numbers to hold the enemy back while the rest of the attackers can try and use up their ammunition. Dunman Hunters here out of ammo. What are these guys fighting? Still some Huri Peng. These Huri Peng have lasted quite a while on that left flank. And even over here, the Palace Guard, as much as they have been losing this fight, I suspect they probably racked up quite a few kills. And they've kept this little mob here busy for quite some time. Now Agalar, he's got his Greenway sentries running on up. Now there's no longer any cav in his way. He's coming. He doesn't want to run his men. Oh, he is running. He is. Yeah, I would definitely be running if I was him. You need to be getting up there because the front line, the attacking front line, is starting to waver. His men are quite spread out though, and he doesn't want to just come in for a blind charge. Coldfell Maidens here probably still have a javelin or two. They do. So even if they've not got any cav to fight, they're going to be able to throw some jabs on the front line. I always think, I think I mentioned this before, but I always think Coldfell Maidens are a very solid choice for a siege, because especially on if you're on the attack, you can just use them to counter enemy cav charges out. You know, if the enemy chooses to sally, or even if the enemy doesn't choose to sally, you've got another javelin unit that you can just rush around the map. You never really, it's not like taking a dedicated melee cavalry, which can sometimes just be absolutely useless. Dunman Hunters here, they are just going to fall away in front of the Imladris units. Rudar Spears are going to do a bit better. They will die quick, but they'll do damage while they die. And that's quite important. Over here on the right flank is a bit better. Flagrim, their AP is going to be absolutely lost on these Rudar men. Minas Morgul Chosen running. No, the Minas Morgul Chosen are still holding for now. It's the Moranon infantry that are running out. Yeah, on this flank as well, the Gambrim are just coming in and pushing them back. We've got the Elders of the Elven King though, and they're out of ammo. Now Mirkwood, he's used up a lot of his men so far, so losing your general wouldn't be the end of the world. A quick charge there, but he's just not going to be able to break through the mob of your own men on the front line. The Dragon Knights, they've got an avenue. It's a dangerous avenue, but it's an avenue nonetheless. Right of a Holdberg here, come all the way around. A few of these men running. The issue with having enemy cav right behind your lines like this is, once your men do break and start running, I'm probably going to go back up to 1 speed in a minute. I've been at 0.5 speed for most of this game. Once your men do start running, they're probably going to get caught by an enemy cavalier. Rudar Swordsmen coming over here having to challenge this force. If they get a good charge in the back, which they have done here, they will cut these men to pieces, but all it takes is for these guys to run away, turn around and come back. Yeah, we'll go back to normal speed now. The Greenway Guards from Sharkan. By the looks of it, they are heavily armoured and shielded and crossbows, of course, so I like them. This is the type of unit that I really do enjoy. It's why I like Cardland so much. So it was one of the reasons I like Cardland so much. So it's I suspect they'll be able to put up with this arrow fire that's coming at them for quite some time. Now what have we got going on here? Red Shields of Erkenbrand tormenting this unit as it advances. They're coming in for the Black Wolves. The Black Wolves are definitely not who you want to be taking that fire. I would have... See, this is something I don't know the exact stats of the Greenway Sentries, and I do need to look into it. Because these Greenway Sentries, to me, look like they are perfectly built to take on the Red Shield of Erkenbrand. But, as it stands, the Red Shield are just about the best at what they do. So, perhaps the Greenway Sentries are able to oust them from that position. Even then, a quick volley should do some good work. Yeah, quick volley to the back has hurt them, and they're being engaged by these clansmen. These Red Shields might be struggling now, especially if you can trap them. They've just slipped away. Well done, Master Blaster. I say he's displayed an amazing micro skill today. The Ulc High have come out into the fight now, which is going to be pretty unpleasant for the defenders here, as they continue their counterattack. Counterattacks, as I say, they're very powerful if they're done right, but they expose your forces to a lot of axes and other skirmishing power, rather than sort of holding a front line. There's lots of chances just make a mistake. Now these Witch Roman Slavers have thrown themselves in now, and they are definitely what is sort of required to go toe to toe with this more elite Imladris force. The Bulldogs are coming in too, and alongside the Elders of the Elven King, so two general bodyguard tier units have launched themselves into the fight to hold this force back. And I don't even see any of the bulldogs. they're just wedged. There's still 30 of them, so they're somewhere in there. But no, they've just been just like walked over by the elves. And it's starting to turn against the attackers again. Even with the amount of elite units that they brought to bear here, the defenders are just pushing them back with the swarm of skilled infantry. On the left here as well, there is a push. This Ulc High. It's being faced by a lot of AP, so only one left now. Trollshot Axe Thrower is out of ammunition. They've got quite a lot of damage for being a skirmisher unit. Y2K is definitely going to be micromanaging the heck out of things, but you know, if this unit could have run around there and come in from the back, that could have been pretty nice. But saying that, the front line is already broken, so by the time they got around behind them, it wouldn't have really been a proper rear charge. Rudar Clansmen now coming up from Y2K. Just anything that you can put in front of the defender's charge here just to allow your skirmishers to do more damage. What are we at now? 76 for 74. Defenders slightly edged themselves ahead. Crossbow fire coming in now. Crossbows coming in to the Dunlending Clansmen. Dunlending Clansmen have just taken a beating on all fronts today. But yeah, it's... I think right now the attackers really want to have the ammunition advantage over the defenders. Because when Aguilar shows up, most of his men still have full quivers. They still have a lot of axes to throw or javelins to throw. So if they can walk into this fight, it's 2 units of Greenway Guards here, 3 units of Greenway Guards. Wow. I wonder how expensive they are. Maybe they're not as expensive as I was imagining. But yeah, all of these units will have quite a lot of ammunition left. So he needs to come in here with the ammunition advantage, which I think he probably will. These red shields are out of ammo now. Paladin's being pretty liberal with his crossbow usage at this time. So what we got here? You can see a front line developing, as I say, once you look at the mini map, but there's a lot more numbers on the defenders side. Sapphire Bladesman, very skilled unit coming in to fight up against these clansmen. That was another general dead, another attacking general by the looks of things. Might have been Y2K with his enslavers. The enslavers starting to get overwhelmed here. That was a good axe volley right into the middle of this force. 80 for 77. Sorry, 80 for 78 now. But there is a bit of a break. Rudar Axemen stepping on forward, quite depleted from the cavalry charges. But their AP will, and their high attack will be very useful. These Silent Rim have just gotten just decimated by Y2K's axe throwers. And suddenly this attack, as I say, you know, this is the issue with counterattacks. It just leaves you open for these sorts of situations. Guathlo Trackers, probably with quite a bit of ammunition left, or at least some. They need to make sure that they're using it. You see the Troll Hunters here. They were decimated by enemy fire, and 6 of them are running. They've probably still got a lot of ammunition, so that's a damn shame to see them going. What is doing so much damage to them so quickly? It's not the Naren. I'm not too sure actually. Yeah, crossbows. It'll be these strong crossbowmen that were doing that. Sindar of the Girdle have stepped on forward. Again, it's unlike them to have routed. But yeah, and it does seem to be the defenders are just in total charge mode now. It's become very disorganized, which is good because you can sort of chase down the enemy skirmishers quite quickly. But as I say, this is when it becomes very dangerous, especially with these Sindar running around. Riders of the Fold coming in to try and shut them down, but I don't think they'll be a match for the Sindar. Outnumbering them 5-1 though, even more than that now. Maybe they will actually. Greenway Guards here. Quite good crossbowmen, I suspect. They need to get a volley in. Oh, dang. They're targeting these men up here, whereas I really feel they should have been going for the Sapphire Bladesman. Quick charge from the Riders of the Fold. But these men are spears. He's in guard mode. He's trying to get off one more shot, but I just don't think... Yeah, no, I think they're going to just get their spears out and start stabbing away. Guathlo Trackers over here. If the Greenway Guards can just hold people back, with our marksmen more ammunition than a lot of archers off their tier, so they need to make sure they're using all of that. First Marshal's Bodyguard, still pretty fresh, pretty full. 84 for 82 now, still 2%. It's been within 2% for a very long time. Guathlo Trackers here, as I say, Aguilar's got a lot of ammunition, and unfortunately for him, his allies over here have kind of been pushed back and sort of split apart. These Greenway are going to be holding the position for quite a while due to their, I suspect, their relative skill and armor, probably more their armor than their skill, being hellmen. So I think it is. Oh, that was a cheering from the guildsmen. Yeah, I didn't know that they could cheer. I don't really use them too much. I don't play Rune all that much, but when I do, I don't really use them. Dunman Spears coming forward to match the Riders of the Fold. They will get ripped apart. This is the one thing. Now, of course, it's terrible for me to judge Master Blaster here because he has done exceptionally well, but this is the one thing that kind of perplexed me. I don't know why he's charging in at them right now. Maybe he's just wanting to hold them in position so that the crossbowmen can get some good shots, or make sure that his allies can move forward and form up before. I think that is probably what he's trying to do. He's just trying to buy time so that Aguilar can't run up and take the flat ground. Keep him forced down to this little section where they'll have the height advantage. Coldfell Maidens here, on fire at will. Oh wait, no, they're getting some good hits. Yeah, no, I see that. There's still some of these guardsmen. How many of them? 4? 5 of them. Yeah, 5 of them, and lucky for Master Blaster, they're all javelins. There's no banner carriers here or anything silly like that, so these 5 men are still going to have a lot of ammunition. And those are good javelins, good accurate javelins too, so I'd be happy enough with them just firing away. Now what we've got, the forming up of Paladin's forces. Although he has fired off quite a few volleys from the Eastern crossbows, they still have their crossbows out. They've still got a bit of ammunition, don't know how much. We're seeing some cheering again. Godhillen were actually hiding there, so that's not the one that he's got his general in, if he does have his general in either of them. Imladris Guardians moving up, only 4 of them left, very bloodied. Sapphire Bladesman back after defeating everything over here. Let me just zoom out for a minute. Let's see if there's anything more that the attackers have in this area. I don't think so. I think the attackers have been totally pushed back, and now it is just down to Aguilar. These men, nope. Yeah, it does seem to be just Aguilar left. 3 Elders of the Elven King there managed to get out. Hopefully they didn't rout too early. Oh nope, Riders of the Fold routing. Yes, it is now a fight between Aguilar and Y2K's got his Coalfell Maidens, and there's probably another unit or 2. There's a player admitting defeat, probably one of the attackers. Coalfell Maidens, they've got a shield, don't have much armor. They were receiving some shots, but yep. First Marshal's Bodyguard coming in for a quick charge. Not actually as powerful as you'd expect it, but these Greenway Guards will be loving that if they can get a good few stabs on these men. Skirmishers here, I think they've still got ammo, but they were engaged in melee by vastly superior Elven warriors. Still 2 guardsmen there. They've actually received a bit of crossbow fire. That was something I definitely disagree with. Aguilar actually put a bit of focus into firing on them, and I just felt they weren't worth it. A lot of those shots were missing. So he's pushing up a lot more of his infantry now. When I say infantry, I mean a lot of these troll show axe throwers, and another unit of Greenway Guards. Quick charge by the First Marshal's Bodyguard, keeping, once again Master Blaster wants to keep them trapped on this downslope, so that when his allies turn up, they can fight them here. Which I agree with that. That's good. If you can stop your enemy from being able to fight on even ground, then that's just fantastic. A few javelins here still coming in from the Coalfell Maidens right into the side of these Gamp Rim. That's a good shot. They were shaking for a second. They can be routing. Gwaflo trackers here. These men out of ammunition, but these still do have some. Greenway Guard. Just looking for a target. Just about anything left on the field is a good target, I would say. As long as you can hit these bolts, that's for the best. Now, this is a trick that gets often used on the Mines of Moria. I've seen it a lot recently. Defending the downslope against your enemy seems like a very tough fight, which it is, but it allows you to get a perfect shot on them, and that's what he's doing with these axe throwers right here. He's just got his men lined up, and they're just coming in and firing for this perfect blob. A lot of axes coming into these Belchoth Sapphire Bladesmen, but they're without armour. They're just going to be disappearing, as you can see they are. Even with these men that are shielded and armoured, a good Rudour's throwing axe is going to hurt. That was, I think that was Total War 1's general going down there, but Imladris men are not really going to be worried about that. They should really fight to the end. More and more axes coming in, and just causing these elves to disappear. Quite a few pushes, but Aguilar's been clever. He's stretched his men out really quite far back. These Greenway Guards as well, they're competent in melee. They're spearmen, but they're still pretty good, I suspect. They're going to be able to hold the line for at least a little while, kill a lot of these crossbowmen, and allow the Gwaflo trackers to use up the rest of their ammo. Because as I say, that's what this is all about right now. He needs to make sure he's using up all of his ammo. These Trollshire axe throwers coming into melee now. I'm going to zoom in a little bit just so we can see how that fight is going from a different perspective. Yep, just two very beefy lines. You can see the defenders actually have a thicker line there, which is exactly what Aguilar wants. Aguilar in reserve, he still does have some Black Wolves dotted around back there. Actually, you know what? I think that they've just thrown themselves forward into the fight. These Black Wolves here, amazing on the charge. They'll do a heck of a lot of damage on the charge, and their AP will help them a lot against these Candice units, and at chewing through the Dragon Knights that are stuck in there. But as long as they keep out of enemy fire, they'll be okay. Even despite their real lack of skill, they've got 2 hit points, which should keep them alive a little while. Whereas on the right flank there, I was about to say the axe throwers are going to be struggling, but as I said before, you know, their AP can do something, and they're backed up by a handful of Black Wolves. Now what else do we have? Greenway Guards starting to really struggle there. Taking a lot of fire. Has there been a push made? The Dragon Knights did manage to break through. This hold here has been broken. Now it's just Aguilar's position remaining, and how much damage these Greenway Guards can do. They're taking some archer fire, but it's really not a worry. You've got armor, you've got a shield. You can take that arrow fire for a little while. It's more important just do damage on the front line while you still have a front line. These Trollshire axe throwers, I think they're starting to struggle a bit now up against the vastly superior units. Paladin really just trying his best to use his Dragon Knights. There's really, I did think at this time as well about running the Cav all the way around the back and just coming from behind, but that's just too long. It'd take far too long to do that. Paladin totally out of ammunition now. I think every unit that is on the field is now in this final blob. The Black Wolves are going to be getting pretty tired. Fighting uphill, that is one of the main things you struggle with. You lose your energy quite quickly. I've seen some shots coming out from him. Is that Godhill on fire? No? Might have been my imagination. There still seems to be some men fighting here. Yep, no, still a Greenway Guard.
We must act and halt this turn of events.
Crossbow fire coming into the Narim. See, I don't know. I disagree. I would be firing into the front line if he can get a shot, which he might not be able to. Is the thing. It's important that he kills something. Eastern crossbows even doing all right here. I love Rudour. Definitely my second favorite faction. And I wish I liked Black Wolves more, but I don't. I never seem to have much success with them. Just as I say that, they start victory as a distinct possibility, but still, I just never really, I don't feel that they're ever worth the price, but I'm bad with shock infantry. Yep, like, I'm totally, they heard me, and now they're winning their flank. And the axe throwers are even doing okay, but these dragon knights are the scary things. Even if they were able to wipe out this position in its whole, the Godhelm, there's still 7 of them left. 7 Godhelm can do a lot of damage. Dragon Knights really trying to force their way through. They're going to be busting this position. Hopefully they don't cause a break. Shavers. Yep, no, it's starting to struggle here, these axe throwers. The guardsmen, 2 of them left, still with ammunition. What are they throwing off at? I'd probably... Yeah, that's what I thought. Going off into the Greenway Guards. Definitely just want to use up all of their ammo. The left flank is just looking so frail now. The Camel's Dragon Knights took so much damage with that, but I do actually think it was quite good. I think just the mass off the Cav kind of just buckled their formation for a moment and allowed quite a lot of kills. Scion Rem on the right side standing quite well up against these axe throwers. I think he's pulling 1 unit of axe throwers around, just trying to complete this formation, which is quite clever. It's something I really don't do. I don't do enough of. Is kind of repositioning my men once they get in the fight. That's good. That was definitely a good shot from those guardsmen. They can't have much ammunition left. They've been firing constantly for quite a while now. There we are. Master Blaster back at it again. I thought it couldn't be done. I thought it would take far too long to do, but nope, he's here. He needs to do a lot of damage on that charge though. He did quite a bit, but I don't think it was enough. Oh, those Greenway Guards are sturdy boys, aren't they? They are very sturdy boys, but still, Master Blaster's coming back at it. He just needs to stop these men firing. Sword Masters have come in from this side too now. Yeah, that was a good move. Because once that position broke, as I say, I don't think it would have won the game by any stretch, but I think once that position broke, these Greenway Guards would have had a perfect, clear shot against the charging elves, and they would have done a lot of damage. That's the other attackers admitting defeat there now. But no, so yeah, Master Blaster must have done that very early on, because they would have had a long way to run. Yeah, just around here, all the way around the back. This would have taken quite some time, especially if they were running. Well, sorry, especially if they were walking, but no, they were definitely running. No point. They had to get the Dragon Knights. The Dragon Knights pushed through there, of course. But no. We'll go into a bit of a faster speed while these last Greenway Guard make their final stand. So yeah, as I said before, what I'll be doing now is I'll go through ULC's stats, and then I'll load up the other game, and I'll go through Paladin stats, just so we can kind of see. It's really, I'm really thankful about that, actually, getting two viewpoints of the same battlefield. So no, that was nice. So that's where Aguilar had his general as well, and that's why he kept that unit nice back and safe. And but no, that was a really cool fight. A lot of manoeuvring, but there always is on Mistrand. Always needs to be because of the spawn points. But as soon as things got going, that was hectic from start to finish. And always like to see a counter attack from the defenders, and I think it went very well for them today. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah. Overall, actually, will I do that first, or will I do? No, I'll do that last. I usually like to do those sort of round offs afterward. For ULC, Bulldogs, they were thrown in. Keep in mind, like, they were thrown up against some exceptional Imladris forces. I didn't even see them. They were slightly shorter boys. They would have just gone like swamped over, but they did a good job. They killed. When you get kill for kill against Imladris, even for your elite units, it's pretty good. Orc fodder there just taking fire. That was his free unit. Didn't take 2 orc fodder. That's sinful. Always take 2 orc fodder. More on infantry there. Both of them just racking up a handful of kills on the front line. More on guard. They did alright. I never take more on guard myself. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why, but I never take Moron on guard. I guess he just kind of wanted them for a bit of cheap pushing. But I would say with Mordor, you really just you want to go for an expensive push because you can do it so well. And of course, Rohan was on the field, so you probably want to Spanny Cav. Moron on Halberds, they did very nicely. I think I would maybe go for another Moron on Halberdier myself, just to like match off against the enemy front line and get a bit more AP on that front line. Sauron's, well, both of them great. Always a solid choice. Just keep your line nice and inspired. And they're, now that Mordor doesn't have heavy maulers, it's important. They're good. The Minas Morgul chosen there. I was very impressed with Minas Morgul chosen in the last battle. But yeah, no, it's spearmen facing off against a lot of. They were fighting on the far right, fighting up against the flag rim. So like that's not a fight that they can win. The Olak-hai actually racked up quite a few kills, even though they were put in quite late on, and they were fighting off against some good quality units. So no, I like that. The two javelins, sorry, racked up some good kills. The attackers had so much skirmish potential today. They had so much skirmish fire coming in, so all of their skirmishes would have done quite nicely. The orc archers there really just to absorb archer fire, but unfortunately the enemy just weren't targeting the orc archers, and like we saw like full units of orc archers getting slammed into the front line about midway through that battle, which was a bit unfortunate. I think that's not. Yeah, the Nazgul, I didn't even see the Nazgul. I'm really sorry about that. They racked up 113 kills though, so that's great for them. Yeah, oh, that's a shame. They're tough to spot. They're tough to keep track of, especially in amongst a very black Mordor line. So no, that's fair. They racked up some good kills. That's nice to see. The Adunheim Lancers, they just came in right at the end. It would have been nice. Well, I was going to say if they were a unit of wargs or something, but yeah. But no, like they did quite nicely. I think with Mistrand you can, like as we saw in the last Mistrand Siege actually, that unit of Black Serpents did some good work, and I think that's kind of the same deal that he was going for. Just if he can get in, it's a lot of flat ground on Mistrand is the thing. So even though there's not a lot of space, you can build up speed and you're not going to be going over bumps. The biggest shame though, by far, is that Troll Catapult. That's just so sad. That Troll Catapult missed so many shots. Like I suspect all of those 25 kills were in melee. Perhaps you'll see will say differently, but I didn't spot any single hit from that catapult, and it got bugged out. That was, yeah. I think that was one of the big things. I'll probably actually do the round off now, just while my thoughts are somewhat organized, and then I'll go through Paladin's kills. So yeah, I think overall attackers just had too much skirmish power. Like, I think that it's not that they had too much skirmish power, they didn't have enough infantry, to hold the line. I think like Y2K had quite a lot of infantry, and ULC had a lot, and I don't know, like I'd like to see how much sort of communication there was in the lobby stage. Just, it's always kind of good to give people a roundup of like, hey guys, here's what I'm bringing, and because throwing axes are awesome, but I think we probably had about, because there was Rudour and 2 Dunmen, so all 3 of them were going to be bringing at least 2 units of axe throwers, and I just don't think that there was enough targets in the world for that many axe throwers on one field. And I think instead of that, I don't know what sort of infantry Dunland has. I think they've only got like the Dunlending Veterans and the Dunlending Berserkers. So all in all though, I would have maybe ditched a few of the throwers, gotten a few more pikes or something like that. And same with archers as well. There were just too many archers and crossbowmen on the field, I feel, to really that's why the front line kind of like, that's why in my mind, I think that's why the defenders' counterattack was so powerful, was just because of the real they didn't have enough infantry to hold them back. But yeah, it was well used for sure. Like I think that they did very well with the skirmishing potential that they had, and I know all in all it was an exceptional fight on their part. I get very panicked when the enemy counterattacks. Hot take, well, hot tip for fighting me. It's my whole thing about being an attacker is how I love to just take my time. So when you throw me out of that comfort zone and make me have to react to what you're doing instead of you reacting to what I'm doing, that's when things start to get spooky for me, and that's when I'll make mistakes. So yeah, something to keep in mind. What I'll do is I'll stop this now, I'll go through to Paladin's army, and then I'll do basically my thoughts on the defenders. So that'll be cool. Right, see you guys. So now that things are switched around, let's have a quick look at what Paladin got up to with his kills. So his camels chosen there were thrown into the fight, and they racked up some good kills. As long as they weren't really going toe-to-toe with, say, the Elders of the Elven King or the Witch Realm Executioners, there was really not much on the field that could match them. The Bulldogs, of course, as well. So it's not too surprising that they racked up that sort of kill count. The Dragon Knights, for as much competition as they had on their team for heavy cav, they did quite nicely, especially sort of on the later stages. I really think that they helped bring a close to that battle quite quickly. Well, quicker than it could have been. The Dragon's Wrath crossbows actually killed so many more than I thought. Yeah, that's quite impressive to see. And as well as that, they were a very big part of the push in the later stages. They came in and really racked up a lot of kills in melee too. The Flag Rim, just all the way through. Apart from these guys, they must have gotten minced by some axes. But these two were a big part of just the frontline defense. It was Paladin's sort of front line that came in there after the Rohirrim passed on. After the Rohirrim were pushed aside, they came in and took over most of the front line. The Elves were sort of stuck in place for most of the battle, and so I'd be interested to see how they got on. But no, these Flag Rim did very nicely, along with the Gamp Rim, which again, just there wasn't enough power. I just don't think there was enough like phalanxes to really match them. Gamp Rim as well, they're heavily armoured, they're decently armoured, they have a shield, so you can't really shoot them down too well. You can throw stuff at them and take them down quite nicely there, which seems to have happened to these guys. Yeah, you can definitely tell which units, which probably sections of the battlefield, these guys were on. To the Scion Rim, they're racking up some nice kills, good in melee, but mainly there to hold the morale of the formation. The Shadow Guard came on out, and they racked up a nice kill count too. The Guildsmen, surprising. I think what probably happened there was the Guildsmen were focusing too much on trying to throw things rather than getting in melee, and because they were probably standing a little bit further away from the line, they were in a perfect position to have stuff thrown at them, and that's why they got minced. Crossbows did very well. It was cool to see them with an armor upgrade. It's an expense that isn't usually given to them, so that was nice. The Sapphire Bladesmen, they could have done so much more killing, but they just had a blooming axe volley right in their face in the late game. The Narim there, skilled bowmen, racked up some good kills, definitely sort of up against the elven bows. It was important to have something that could accurately shoot at them. And that Dragon's Breath cannon. So yeah, I did rant and rave about how unfortunate it was for the attackers that they were unable to really use their catapult, but at least they were able to shut down the defenders' Dragon's Breath cannon, for their worries. I think because of the attackers kind of, I'm going to say unusual, but I'm going to say skirmish heavy. Yes, skirmish heavy attack force. There wasn't really the same chance for the Dragon's Breath cannon as there was in a normal, as there would have been in a normal like frontline engagement. So that's why he had to sort of move it into a bit of a weird position, and I think it was Shar Khan that sort of led the push there with his Dunlending veterans, and then it was followed in by everybody else to manage to like sew it in, and the Ents, of course, were a big part of that. As for the defenders, yeah, I'd say Paladin was great on that right flank holding the line, and Total War on his left. I really hope if that is told, where I'm pretty sure it is, that he actually will do a video on this battle. He might not. If he wants the replay off, I'll give it to him. If he forgot to save it himself, just because I do enjoy seeing what people were thinking in battles and why they did what they did. That was always a big part of it for me. But Master Blaster himself, like all the defenders did very well, but Master Blaster really went above and beyond today. In my mind, I did not expect him to do very well with that. I know he is a very veteran player, but cheapers, like he had like 4 units of infantry, so the rest were cav. So I expected him to just lose micro and make screw ups and not really get himself into great positions. But Mistrand does have a lot of open space, and now that I know you can actually go around that chasm in the northeast even, that makes cav a lot scarier. I didn't think you could go around that before, so now that you can, oh dear, that was, I thought Aguilar, like, all is going to be well as long as Aguilar holds that position, but him just being able to run around, that's when it became curtains, I really think. And that's really was pretty nasty. But it was like clever, for sure. And Master Blaster clearly knows this map better than I do. Apart from that, yeah, I don't think there's much more that I need to say about this battle. But yeah, thank you very much, guys.